Spoopies, it's Kaylee and I'm here with another Get Ready With Me video, and today I wanted to chat about a certain very famous athletic wear line and how they recently launched a mannequin of a certain size, and certain people felt some type of way about it, and someone wrote an infamous article and was going off about it. And yeah, I just had some things to say. I thought it would be fun to talk about. So here we are, and as always, I'm gonna try and remember to hold up everything I use in front of the camera. And if I remember, I'll try to put everything in the description as well. But yeah, I'm not a beauty guru, not a makeup artist, not an expert in anything at all, really. So yeah, if I mess up at all, sorry about that. You know, I'm just too real. So yeah, of course, if you are active in the plus size community somewhat at all, or really, if you've been on the internet at all really recently, I think you will have probably seen this article and all the outrage and reactions to it. It was an op-ed written by, I believe her name is Holly Thomas. And Holly had some feelings. She had some things to say. She is here to save us. She is here to save us all from the fat people and from obesity and the dangerous lies that mannequins are telling us as women, as society, as a people. So yeah, in her little article, Holly went off. Brrr, rewind, back it up again. So the whole impetus for this article was that Nike, I believe it was the Nike London store, rolled out plus size mannequins. And I guess a lot of people were kind of chatting about it, talking about how it's cool that Nike was, you know, getting in on this inclusivity. But not Miss Holly, not Miss Thomas. She had some opinions. She had some things she needed to say. Like I said, she was going to save us all from the horrible tyranny of fatness. And she was going to do this through her opinion piece in The Telegraph, which I'm kind of amazed The Telegraph even posted this garbage. But, all right, so I paused to do my brows because I can't talk and do my brows at the same time. And apparently one of my cats is in here with me. I didn't know he was in here with me, and he was making little noises and it was freaking me out. So yeah, I'm like a little bit freaked out now. And I know my brows aren't even, don't come for me. You know, it's one of those whatever days. It's like, as long as I look like I have a face and not like a potato when I leave my apartment, that is fine. That is my goal with this look, not to look like a potato when I leave my apartment. So where was I? Okay, so yeah, Miss Thomas felt some type of way when she saw these mannequins in Nike London, I guess, and she decided to, you know, write a little op-ed about her feelings, like let her feelings be known, as you do when you are a writer, allegedly. When I first heard everybody making a big stink about this article, I just kind of rolled my eyes and was like, whatever. When have fat people done literally anything without thin people losing their goddamn minds over it, about how we're destroying society and we're promoting obesity just by breathing and existing and blah, 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 blah. But I was a little bit taken aback when I actually read the article, because she had some surprising hot takes about a fucking mannequin. First of all, she kept talking about the mannequin as if it was a real person, as if it was a living thing that was like a representative for the fat community, which was kind of weird. Like, she talks about how this mannequin wasn't a size 12, which can be healthy, but is probably not. And it wasn't a size 16, which, you know, you're on the verge of death if you're that big. But it was like a size, I can't remember what the size of the mannequin actually is. It was like a size 20 or 22, something like that. So not like the typical plus size mannequins you get at like Forever 21 or something like that, where they're basically like the straight size mannequins, but just a little, you know, a little thicker. So this mannequin wasn't like one of those like skinny thick mannequins. It was like a genuinely plus size mannequin, like my size, maybe a little bit smaller. And she was going off about, oh, by the way, I'm using my Sephora Gem palette, which I still love. Nobody ever talks about or really cared about this. Everybody was angry because the pans were so small, but I still love this palette. I still like to use it. That's just me. But anyway, so the mannequin was like bigger than your average plus size mannequins, and she was going off about that. And she starts talking about how the mannequin is heaving with fat, like it's disgusting fat rolls and dripping like blobs of fat are just oozing off of this mannequin. And I'm just like, you realize it has no flesh, right? You realize it's hard plastic because it's a fucking mannequin, right? It's an inanimate object, first of all. And she's talking about how the mannequin looks like it's getting ready for a run. And she's like, oh, but the mannequin can't run. She's like, the mannequin can't run. She is more likely pre-diabetic and dying because she's so unbearably fat. And it's like, first of all, can we stop throwing around diabetic and pre-diabetic as insults towards someone being fat? It's like, instead of just coming out and calling someone fat and saying someone's fat and gross now, it's like thin people's default insult is like, oh, you have diabetes or you're pre-diabetic or whatever. And it's like, there are people who really do have diabetes, you know. It's like a thing. And like, maybe it isn't nice to throw around real world medical conditions that people really have as insults because, I don't know, you don't like someone's body shape. She's opining about how this poor mannequin is just so weighed down and heaving with fat, and she's pre-diabetic, and she's gasping for air, and she has heart failure, obviously, and she's fucking dying, even though it's a mannequin. A mannequin that is the same size or close to the same size as a lot of athletes out there in the world. The title of her article was about how these mannequins are selling women a dangerous lie that you can be healthy and fat at the same time, which of course is utterly impossible. And if you're fat, you're bad, and you should like just, I don't know what you should do, because apparently you're not allowed to wear athletic wear. You're not allowed to work out in athletic wear because that's, you know, that's sending a bad message. It's selling women a dangerous lie, apparently. So if you are fat, you're not allowed to wear athletic wear and work out, I guess. I would like to know the solution to what these people think you should do if you're fat, and they obviously don't like that. They don't want you to be fat, but they also don't want to see you doing things that would better your health, like working out. So, what should we do exactly is what I'm wondering. It's like, are we allowed to work out, but only as long as you can't see us? So we should just work out at home, like away from people, away from the gym, away from the park? Or should we just hide ourselves away in a box and not eat anything until we are at a certain size where we're not considered fat anymore, and then we can come out, and then you'll tell us how great we look and how much better of a person we are? Like, I would really like to know, what are the rules? What are the, you know, we're not allowed to wear workout gear apparently, so I would love to know what the rule is about being fat and trying to be healthy, because, you know, being fat is synonymous with being unhealthy. You can't possibly be fat and healthy at the same time, and being thin means you're automatically healthy and you have nothing wrong with you whatsoever, and you're the most fit, like, healthy person ever if you're thin. And not to mention, health isn't a moral prerogative, and no one owes you health, and no one owes it to anyone to be healthy. So I'm a little bit confused here. What do we as fat people do? But so yeah, I just, as you can tell, I'm not taking it super seriously. I just, like I said, part of me kind of expected it. I thought it was kind of cool that they had a plus size mannequin that looked more like the body type that a lot of plus size women have. I won't say most, but a lot of them do. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I didn't even know that Nike had plus size clothes. So that taught me that as well. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I might get a couple, you know, little sports bras or leggings or something from Nike, because I really like athletic wear. And I think maybe a day later, I started seeing all the like reactions to this horrible article. And when I learned about the article, that there was someone like shitting all over Nike for daring to have like a plus size mannequin that was above a size, like, I don't know, 10 or whatever, it didn't surprise me. I was just like, of course there is. Of course there is, because fat people can't do anything without everybody suddenly getting very concerned about our health, and funnily in a very shamey way. It's funny how that works, doesn't it? And a lot of people started attacking this lady because I guess I didn't see any picture of her, but I guess other people, of course, have looked up pictures of her and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, she isn't all that thin, and like there's a picture of her for her like writer's profile little picture, and it's like her smoking a cigarette, and so people were freaking out about that. And I feel like I would be a hypocrite if I attacked her for smoking or for also being a little bit chubby, because I don't really care. I don't really give a fuck. It's like your body. You do, it's your body, it's your life, you do whatever you want to with it, you know, you're an adult. Of like trying to shame her for I don't know, for existing in a way or doing things that might be considered unhealthy. If anything, I feel kind of bad for this woman. I feel bad for her that she is so scared of being something that purportedly people say she's close to being. Some people have said she's fat. Some people have said she's chubby. I don't know. I guess she's written about being a recovering alcoholic, and I think she even mentions in the article that she is a recovering addict, because she links it to fat people's addiction to sugar, of course. I'm not into shaming her or trying to equate like one person's kind of misery with another. I'm not into that, but I do think it's probably scary to be her, and I feel bad for her because she's obviously very, very unhappy. She's obviously very unhappy with herself. Whenever people react this strongly to fat people and try to moralize about how dangerous and wrong we are and how we're morally abhorrent, I tend to think, oh, so your greatest fear is being like us. And so, you know, you're trying to distance yourself from us in any way possible is how I usually see it. And I saw that a lot with her. It just seemed like, you know, one of her biggest fears is probably being fat, getting fat. And so when she saw that fat mannequin in the store, it was just a moment of visceral horror for her. Like, oh my God, I'm seeing the thing that I'm most afraid of in the world being, and why are people saying positive things about it? You know, this is scary, this is wrong to me. This is like everything a human being, and especially me, should strive not to be. And people are taking pictures of it and they're saying that it's nice and that it's inclusive of Nike and blah, 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 blah. So I could see, like, you know, things firing off in her head and the gears turning, and like she sees this mannequin getting positive attention and praise and stuff, and she's like, no, that's not a good thing, because obesity is wrong and bad, and we shouldn't say positive things about something that's wrong and bad. And that's how something like this gets written. She doesn't understand that the reason it was receiving positive attention was not because people were like, oh yay, obesity, let's all get really obese and, you know, just lounge around in Nike athleisure wear all the time. She didn't understand that the reason it was garnering praise from people was because they're like, oh, hey, this is inclusive. Like, if you're a plus size person and you have trouble finding like comfortable, durable athletic wear, like Nike has it, and they're putting mannequins in their store to appeal to you and tell you that, you know, you're welcome in their store. Because body image is such like a funny, strange thing, and it's like something that can be totally innocuous and unoffensive to most people. To someone can be just utterly triggering and just lead to like a giant explosion of hate, like this article. And like I said, I can see from her point of view, like being for, like, if being fat is your worst fear, and then walking in and seeing this fat mannequin and nobody making a big deal about it, I could see how that would be pretty upsetting, and it would give you like a big visceral reaction. And I think it's a lot easier to just write a whole article about how obesity is wrong and they're lying to people and spreading this whole kind of conspiracy theory, instead of just examining yourself and saying, why did seeing that mannequin upset me so much? Why did I feel the need to, you know, get my feelings, like just spit my feelings out there on the internet in a very angry way and tell fat people that they're not wanted, they're not welcome, and that they're liars and they're evil, and you know, instead of just being people like everybody else, they are the great deceivers. I think it's a lot harder to kind of look at yourself and examine yourself and ask yourself the hard questions about why you feel that way, how those feelings came to be, and why you have such a strong emotional reaction to other people that you don't know, or in this case, mannequins. It's not even a real person, it's a fucking mannequin. Don't you hate it when you have like some scabby or dry skin and it doesn't look dry until you put makeup on, and then it's like way worse? Ugh, I hate that. And like I was saying before, I think people just having a really strong emotional reaction to things like this, because it is emotional. It's not really based in any kind of fact or anything. This was just this woman's emotional reaction to seeing something she didn't like. And apparently that was a good enough thing to write an article about for the Telegraph. But I think when anybody has a really strong emotional reaction to stuff like this, it usually says a lot more about the person having that reaction than it does about the thing or person that they're reacting to. And so, yeah, I think I'm done. Here's my finished look with my little glasses on. I hope there will come a day when I don't know, haters and people who hate fat people so much will examine their emotions and stop overreacting so emotionally to everything and realize that we're all just people doing our best and trying to get along. But, you know, not holding my breath, but I hope that day will come. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today while I got ready. I gotta go finish getting dressed for work now and take off, and I want to make a few other videos. I want to talk to you guys about some mental health stuff and about me going to therapy recently, and of course more outfit videos. I have a bunch of stuff. I just haven't had a lot of time to work on that stuff lately. So if you're interested, you know, ring the bell or whatever, because someday your girl will get on a update schedule, but that day is not today. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Truly, I do. I appreciate every comment, every person who follows me on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys later in my next video. And until then, don't forget that you are beautiful just the way you are, and to always be yourself. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.